everyone. Once again, I'd like to welcome to this channel. And as you can see, I have Hikmat Dai with me once again. But today we are talking on a very different subject matter. First of all, I'd like to welcome you, Hikmat Dai.
Thank you, brother.
I have to introduce him and as well as myself. Last time we were together in Maitigar Mandela, and now we are in a different place. And he's Hikmat Singh Pela, a secondary level English teacher, currently teaching in Kotang district. As you can see, I'm also in the very similar profession. I'm also a secondary level teacher. And we have kind of similar experiences, right, Hikmat?
Yes.
So let me get into today's topic. Today we are going to talk about teachers' role of English teacher in our classroom, especially when we are in the English class.
Yes.
So what activities we do? That is our topic of discussion today.
Yes.
Okay, so I think you are comfortable, Hikmat.
I'm fine.
All right. So let's begin our interaction on teaching experience. So Hikmat, can you tell me when did you start teaching English to the kids?
It's 6 years. I've been teaching English in community schools of our country. That's it.
Okay. So let me tell you one more thing. In the context of Nepal, English is a foreign language as well as a second language, you can say. And we are particularly talking about our experience in our classrooms. That is the classroom of community school.
Yes.
So what kind of ethnic groups are there? And especially in community schools, in government-based schools, what kind of experiences this we are going to share? So please, tell me, what kind of environment you have found in your classroom while teaching. What are your experiences?
Okay. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. Basically, in general, our students in community schools have lack of vocabulary. And in this situation, it's very difficult to teach them. And we are teaching them, but we are teaching meaning also. Sometimes we use mother tongue also. But they have a kind of concept that English is difficult for them. This is a kind of, concept that is in their mind. And their parents also say the same thing. Maybe sometimes teachers may also say same thing. And because of this, they always try to keep themselves aside from English language. They do not feel comfortable with English. And most of the time, they expect the teacher to use Nepali in the class or maybe their mother tongue. Basically, if we talk in general, Nepali is their mother tongue. But if they belong to certain ethnic community, the language might be different. But for our easiness, we use Nepali for the students. So they are scared with English most of the time. But sometimes I encourage them showing different types of videos, sometimes games in the classroom. So theoretically, there is something different. But in our practice, we most of the time use Nepali language in the classroom.
Oh, yeah. Yes, Hikmat, I was also thinking about this, when we talk about the scholars or some theories,
Yes.
there are different theories that we should apply in our classroom, in our daily classroom, right? But the reality is different from the theories, right? So I have a very wonderful experiences, why the students are scared of English.
Yes.
This is one very interesting point.
Yes.
This is a language. We know this, but still the students think take it as a very burden,
Yes.
as an overload.
Indeed, yes.
Right?
Indeed, yes.
So are there any other reasons why they are scared of English language?
Yeah, in our community schools, because they only study one single subject. In our private schools, most of the, except Nepali, all this subject they read and learn in English, and their parents also motivate them, and they use different methods. Maybe they watch cartoons in English, and there is a kind of charm in the city area. In village, they do not have such kinds of activities, so they feel scared with English. And I already told you that most of the teachers and parents also say, no, English is difficult. You have to study hard or something like that, no? So that is the thing.
Yeah, I think one more thing why they are scared is that they have very less interaction,
Yeah, less
less
interaction, yeah.
exposure to this language, you know.
Okay, so I just again want to say, when I go into my classroom, I have 3 regular classes. Okay, I'm talking about time also. And I, most of the time, don't want to miss every second of my class. Generally, 45 minutes are allocated for English. And I immediately, the 45 minutes is passed, I immediately go into next class. And what happens is, sir, we want to go out. Means they had a kind of break.
Yeah.
Okay. So just I'm focusing on time. Okay. They go to the restroom. They come. They return back. 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes is missed. And sometimes I regularly use projector in my class, and sometimes it can also consume some time.
Yeah.
So the another thing is that we do not, or let's say we are unable sometimes to manage some speaking environment for them. Okay, so I just request them, so at least you can say, may I come in, sir? So can I use your laptop? So these are some,
Yeah.
regular language songs that are used in the classroom. But even though these things are also not considered by our students, I feel like that. So it's very hard. Sometimes I, feel very bad and terrible about these things. But continuously I'm saying same thing. Please, at least, okay, if you are going out, sir, excuse me, can I go out? You can use different exponents. There are not only single exponent. There are different types of exponents for the same function, no? And so it's sometimes very hard that I myself may not be able to, that may be my weakness. Okay, I think something different in my room. Oh, today I will do such and such things for my students. But when I get into the classroom, the students' reluctance to speak in the classroom makes me really sad.
Yeah. That's the reality.
Yeah. If they do not use the time, we have less time. And if they are not using it qualitatively, or let's say if the teacher is unable to create qualitative time for them, so it will be difficult for them to improve in the English language. So that's what I'm feeling. And this is the reality of our class.
Yeah, that's the reality. So let me get back to my point once again. I was talking about exposure. Our students get hardly any exposure to this language.
That's the most
wherever, outside the classroom, they don't have the exposure, and they don't need to speak English.
Yes.
And that's why it's very difficult for them.
Absolutely right.
But philosophically, it is said that the harder the path, the better the achievement.
Yes.
So it will happen. So anyway, today we are talking about our experience in our class.
Yeah, okay.
So, Hikmat,
So I would like to add something.
Yeah, please.
If you don't mind. So regarding this exposure, I just told you that I'm using, projector. Projector itself is not complete. If we have internet access in the classroom, I just use some video clips to the students for their exposure. Okay, but because the authentic English is really difficult for them to understand. So at least, but I am trying to manage. And beside this, regarding their homework or their classroom tasks, I request them to note it down, or if they have any questions, they can just send the questions or their responses to me in my personal Facebook account. And another thing is that I want to improve their learning by making Facebook group also. Most of the students have Facebook nowadays, and just I have created Facebook group and Messenger group. In Messenger group, what they do is they send me their responses, and those responses can be seen by all friends in the group, and I just see their responses and give them feedback immediately. So that is my endeavor to improve their English in the classroom and outside the classroom also.
Yeah, I should appreciate your attempt, this attempt, because in the village area, even in the village area, you are trying. I mean, you are implementing such kind of strategies to improve your students.
Thank you, Suraj.
Are there any difficulties? I mean, challenges while applying IT tools or something like that?
No, the things has changed this time. In the beginning, when I was in the village, it was difficult because there was no electricity, no internet.
Yeah.
Now we have internet in our village, and most of the students also get access internet from data also. This is fine, but the thing is that sometimes students maybe they are busy with their household tasks. They may not solve those things. If I ask them, hello, did you finish your homework? Sir, I didn't because I had some housework or something like that.
Yeah.
And that these are the challenges, because sometimes what I feel is I am doing a lot for them, but sometimes they do not care for that. So sometimes it's kind of frustrating situation for me, because nobody is going to support me. But at the same time, what I do feel is no, this is my job. I should do something for the improvement of my students. It doesn't matter whether they do or not. I should encourage them. That is my feeling towards my students. Maybe they will realize this thing after 10 years later.
Yeah, sure.
Or they will just remember me, oh, there was a teacher who did these things for us. That will be credit. That credit will be given to me after 10 years. But it doesn't matter. I will do it.
Okay. So, we have been talking about our role, especially of English teacher in the English classroom, right? So, almost you have noted many your experience you have told here. So, can you just add some other roles, like, as a language teacher, as an English teacher, English language teacher? So, what roles you play in your class? Hikmat, I think that we are doing some interaction. So, first you tell your roles, and I would like to describe my role.
Okay, you will add on. So basically, to speak very frankly, I am a traditional teacher in the sense of that method, in the sense of role of teacher.
Yeah.
Because if I need to be active, if I ask my students to be active, most of the time maybe I may not have such good experience, good knowledge, good theory. Theoretically, I have learned something in my college, but it's really difficult what I learned in the practice. No, because if I ask students, for example, sometimes when I ask my student to just describe the picture, at that time also, I really find I had to get response from them. That's really difficult in the secondary level. But what to do? And I have to begin with, के गर्दैछ, यो यस्तो गर्दैछ, like this, and I have to begin like this, no? So I am doing something, but I myself feel that I'm not doing anything after the class is over, because if the situation is not improving, that is, what do you say in Nepali? बालुवामा पानी खने आए जस्तो. That is the situation. But I scold them for their improvement. They might feel difficult also. They might feel not good at the moment. But after the classes are over, when I talk to some students personally, sir, you are doing well, but our blah blah like this, they are doing like that. So role is totally traditional, but I am using modern technology, and sometimes the technology may not also count in the classroom because it can be boring. I'm regularly using. Sometimes there is no electricity, that is problem, but I'm using those things in the sense that the students will be motivated. For example, if I'm teaching any vocabulary, instead of just describing in Nepali, I can just show the picture, or maybe I can use Giphy, I can use the video so that it could be fitted in their mind. So that's the situation in my school, or let's say in my classroom.
Very honest response you have made. And talking about my role, what I think is a teacher's role in the English class differs according to the situation.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So, for example, you are teaching in a village school.
Village,
and today we are talking about community schools, right?
Yes.
But I think there is a lot of gap. Every community school is a different institution now.
Yes.
So they have their own kind of qualities, own kind of features, infrastructures, right? So how is your classroom? That modify your roles, I think.
Yes.
You have said that you use the projector. So that is your innovation,
Yes.
And I also have the similar kind of experience. Talking about my classroom, we have the smart board,
Yes.
and we have internet facility, right? And especially the students are also generally from English background. So these days, my role is pretty different. What I do, I simply introduce the chapter, and I simply motivate the students to do the exercise. Sometimes I play the audio for listening. So simply, I think I don't apply any special things, but the very same technique can be monotonous for the students.
Yes.
So at that time, we have to think about some new ideas also. Like I apply some vocabulary games like honeybee hunting or anything like that. We can modify the game in our own style also, right? So these are the things. And I remember during my very beginning days, some of the parents, they have come to me and they have told that, please, sir, you have to speak in such a way that the students can understand, please. So that was the situation, But slowly the time is changing, and what I think that if the teachers they continuously keep on performing their role, I think something the students will get, and there should be the improvement among the teachers as well, right? So it's a danger sometimes if we don't innovate. If we don't apply the new techniques, sometime it might happen that we may be taking a backward road, So, but the world, if you see the time, it's always moving forward in the progress, right? We need to. So that's why we need to think about change as well, right? So, Hikmat, do you have any special, experience, any particular, any kind of anecdote you want to remember from your class?
Basically, I don't remember anything right now.
And something as you are in your class, right?
Yeah, but for example,
And what kind of in this
but just as you shared, the reality is that in our classroom, so sometimes what happens is that I just go to the classroom with different mindset. But in the classroom, when I just try to start my class, I expect something from students, and at the same time, when my expectations are not fulfilled, I just started getting frustrated. That is also kind of small anecdote, because I have some expectation that these things can be done by students. At least they should know this. But when I get into the classroom, I just do the same thing. For example, where was born, or where did this accident happen? And the line is there in the book. I'm showing that same thing on the board also, then projector also. But if I ask my students, they just remain silent and just start looking to the walls of the classroom. And it's really, frustrating situation at that time.
Okay.
What are you doing? At the same time, I need to show my anger towards my students. And anyway, it's not good, but the situation makes me angry. And maybe my students think, oh, kasto risaउँछ यो sir. Maybe they think like that. But the reality is reality. I can't go beyond that.
Okay, so there are many things. So I think we should come to the closing time now.
Yeah.
And one more thing I'd like to discuss here, because as this is one informal discussion we are making, and so I want to just ask, I think you teach in grade 10, right?
Yes.
And there is one, let's talk about the first unit, driverless cars.
Yes.
Right? So I think many teachers, if they are watching this, they might be eager to listen to our experience. So if you talk about this topic that, driverless car, I think you remember this first unit, reading chapter, reading one. So what's your opinion? What's your experience of teaching this unit? And I think after you, I will add my experience.
Yeah, basically, this concept is very new. Means it's a kind of old also, a kind of new also, because it's totally related to artificial intelligence. We are using artificial intelligence maybe more than 5 or 6 years, I guess, because when we go to the bank, we are using ATM cards, we are using different types of other things also. That is also a kind of artificial intelligence. And in classroom, this topic is, I think it's easy for students in one sense and difficult in the onwards, because vocabulary is very vast for our students, no?
Yeah.
And I just, what do we teach or what we have to teach is different thing. The topic given in the book is different thing, because that is theory, and I just start doing these things by showing the videos, because we can get these things in the internet. Okay, so that is a very interesting topic for myself and my students also. But in relation to vocabulary, there are some difficult words, and sometimes without the proper guidance of teachers, it's very difficult for the students.
Okay.
Yes, that's it.
So my experience is that Hikmat, I'm always afraid to start this unit.
Yeah.
This is the very first unit.
Yes.
And full of loaded vocabularies.
Definitely.
And this is written by some international writer as well. This is example of newspaper article.
Yeah. That was just taken from the newspaper idea.
Yeah.
Right on the news internet also. I saw.
Yeah. So that's why I'm always afraid. So what I do is I simply warm up for 2-3 days. We are talking about this. I really don't jump into the chapter.
Yeah.
So I spend some of the time giving some current examples of Pathao and InDrive and others,
Great.
and the driverless cars, or some more examples. So these days we are not in the class, this is one current, another situation. But I take almost 1 week to start this chapter, and then slowly I tell the students to read, and in this way we go.
Yes, great. Yeah, I want to add one more thing also. I just talk to students about using mobile phone also, because there is sense of, and just face lock also. I just look at this mobile. Can you open it? No, because this doesn't recognize you. This only recognize you. This is also artificial intelligence. Yeah, I do this also. That's it.
So I think examples are better for the students.
Yes, better.
Get the concept right there.
Thank you very much. It was very wonderful opportunity to have this session with you. Yes, I agree with you. We need to continue these things for our future learning also, and for our future motivation also.
So regarding this today's topic, do you have any concluding note that you want to make at last?
Yeah, the final thing is that teacher's role is very important in the classroom. We need to be very honest with our students. And I do not want to point out any theoretical point right now. I just want to say that we need to be honest with our students. If we are honest, we would definitely make changes in our classroom. That's it.
Okay, Hikmat Bhai, thank you very much. Thanks a lot for your time. See you.